Serena, we got an Army guy on here.
We do. We have Otis McGregor, executive coach and author, with us today.
And he was in the Army and he can still write a book. Do you believe that?
I do. I believe it. I believe it.
Otis, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. And you know what? I wrote a book and I ain't a Navy SEAL either.
Oh, no. There are a lot of those, aren't they?
They teach them that as part of their out process.
They're like, here's how you're going to make money. Now, wait a minute. You were a Green Beret, though, right? That's like a Navy SEAL-ish, right? No swimming.
Well, no, we swim too.
Oh, man. Well, man. You just wear green.
Green Berets are unconventional warfare, as in not going in. Although we do blow things up, have those missions and do that, but really Green Berets were formed to create guerrilla forces behind enemy lines and overthrow the government. That's why our motto is "De oppresso liber," to free the oppressed.
Oh, I like that. I'll never remember all those words though.
No, it's all right.
I'm just a Navy guy. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, well, they're on our regimental crest. So if you get your spectacles out, you can read it.
Oh man. Hey, you're right. When you get above 50, your check engine light comes on, including your eyes. Right. Yep. I got my contacts in.
I was gonna say, I don't even think you got to be 50. I got my contacts in.
But we're here to talk about a couple of things. I know you do a podcast with your son, which is awesome. We'll get to that. You have Tribe and Purpose. You wrote a book, and I told you before, I said, man, I want to write a book. And before we started, you said, well, all you have to do is start writing. So let's start there and tell us what motivated you to write the book and how that formed Tribe and Purpose, and just kind of give us the story.
Yeah, unfortunately, the reason to write the book was I had heard, somebody had told me that if you write a book, you become an expert. So it was part of my grandiose plan to portray an expert in this. I've had a couple people ask me, what's the one business mistake you've made? I opened a business, I wrote a book, and then I put a sign out in my yard, figuratively, and waited for people to come.
Oh, didn't happen, did it?
No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. Hello.
You mean,
this
marketing.
ain't the field of dreams right here. I can tell you that.
Man. Well, I have started a business as well, and you're right. No matter how good your product is, right? That no matter how good, if people don't know about it, and I mean, you got to beat the doors down to get people in.
Oh yeah.
So, are you a #1 bestseller in New York Times yet, or what?
Well, in the Otis Times, yes.
Otis Times,
#1 bestseller.
That's all it counts, my friend. That's all it counts.
Here's my big claim to fame of my book. I sold out at the book signing.
Well, there you go.
What's the title of your book?
Enable Your Team's Success.
Enable Your Team's Success.
Yeah, we'll put it
look over my shoulder on the video. You can see it.
Oh yes, I do see that.
Yeah, she's got her contacts in.
I know.
Well, what about Tribe and Purpose? Because really, I mean, you had the business, but executive coaching is what you are really good at, and that's right. That's your thing. So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, what we do is we help businesses transform their organization from being a bunch of stovepipes to operating with flow. That's the simple condensed version. But what that means is we start at the top. The leader, whether it's a department or the entire business, the leader has to understand who they are. They got to get that understanding. What's their purpose? Why are they there? Why are they part of the business? All those pieces. And then how does that align with what the business does? Does it align? And then they gotta come up with what they want to do. What's the plan? What's the vision? And then we get the team involved and do the same thing with the team. Who are they? Why are they there? What are they doing? What's their piece of the pie? Because if you don't feel like you're there for a reason other than to collect a paycheck, then you're going through the motions. And what a successful business has is a team of people who are focused on the same purpose, have the same core values, or their core values are aligned, and they're moving in the same direction to achieve the same thing, and they feel like they are contributing. That's a huge one for team members. They got to feel like what I'm doing here, what I'm doing today helps the entire organization achieve that success. And they got to know that, and they got to buy into it. And that's the leader's job, is to sell that to the team, get the team to buy into it. Because if they don't, then they're just going through the motions. One of my favorite stories is about the janitor that works at a hospital. And that janitor knows that by keeping the floors clean and disinfected, that he is supporting the overall mission of the hospital, which is to help people get better in life, feel better and recover. He knows that by just him mopping the floors, that's his contribution to that. That's huge. It's not just going through the motions of, swabbing the deck. He's actually doing something that makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference, especially in a hospital setting, cleanliness. And what you just talked about sounds exactly like the military mission and the team, right? You have to feel part of that team. And that's how the best military organizations succeed, is they have buy-in, right? The leaders set policy. They tell us what we're doing. You get buy-in from the team, and next you feel part of that team, and your mission is successful.
Exactly. And it's actually, if you break down Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's the top of the pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Hey, close enough. That's a slow down. Yeah.
My Texas drawl doesn't allow me to talk fast. I can tell you that. But when it gets up there to that top, that last thing, we've got to feel like we're part of something, that we provide value.
That's
as opposed to just collect a paycheck.
Yeah. Well,
sounds like a family business.
Oh yeah. Serena moved back home after being in the military, or her husband was in the military, which means she was in the military for 20 years, and works at her family business. And she's definitely part of the team.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, right?
The working part.
Yes. But what we're doing is, making sure the future is as bright as it can be.
Yes. Poor Serena, 6-7 days a week, right?
6. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, business is hard. And that's what you talked about in the beginning. Start open the doors and people come in.
No.
Yeah. And what about, you said Tribe and Purpose executive coaching? Is that something you go on the road and do virtually? And before I forget, have you noticed the difference between military and veteran owned companies and other companies?
Yes, all the above. So majority of our clients we do virtually, just because it's less expensive for all of us. Because even if I'm not talking about the writing the check, I'm talking about time.
Sure.
If I go to somebody's office that's 30 minutes away, that means that 1 hour meeting is now 2 hours minimum. And you start to add that up throughout the day. So that's number one, is even people that are, my clients that are local, we still do it virtual. Now I do go on the road and go give presentations. I've got one client that they include me in their annual team state of the company sort of meeting. So I go there and meet with everybody in purpose. But that's, those are kind of small niche things. Those aren't recurring. Those are like once a year sort of things that we do. I do talks, on stage or seminars and, in smaller groups. So, those I much prefer. I much prefer those to be in person. Honestly, I did a lunch and learn last week that was virtual, and I'm sitting here giving the talk and watching people on the camera, hearing plates clink and watching them eat their hamburgers and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's not a lot of fun for me.
Well, on the other end of that too, when you have a keynote speaker that's, virtual, just not the same. You may check your email or your phone, but when someone's in front of me, I feel like I owe them my undivided attention.
Well, absolutely.
Speaking,
Sure.
Well, and you know what, as a speaker, you can see the body language in the audience, and I've done a lot of the virtual talks and lunch and learns, various lunch and learns and stuff like that. And whether they're in a group or they're individual, you don't get that same sort of read. You can see it a little bit because I've done enough of them now where I can but it's nothing like if I'm in a classroom with 30, 40 people or on a stage with 100, 200 people, and I can look out and I can see them and I can see that reaction, and, because don't forget, we're predators. So our eyes detect movement, and I see movement out in the audience. It's like, okay, that guy gets it. Oh, that one that one over there didn't get that. So, you can see that and you don't get that on Zoom.
Sure.
I get it with Serena sometimes. I look over and know she just knows she's not paying attention.
Whatever.
She has that look, huh?
You know how many times I just sit through stuff and listen to you guys?
Who, us?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she was my ombudsman, so she's heard me speak a lot.
Oh yeah.
When I had to speak to the crowd for the boat, I would know who was really listening to me and then who was going to call me the next day and ask all the questions that I'd answered.
That you'd answered the night before. True. Yeah.
But that's like being a teacher, and that's how it goes, right?
That's right.
Well, I want to go back to the Green Beret thing for a minute because it's kind of glazed over it. That's just not one of those normal careers. I mean, that's a pretty intense, 25 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started off driving tanks. I enlisted in the Guard while I was a cadet, and I was a tank driver, then a LRSU, long range reconnaissance surveillance unit, Cav Scout guy. And then the Army commissioned me as an engineer. I wasn't very happy about that. And then I volunteered for Special Forces and spent the next, whatever the math, 16, 17 years as a Green Beret, and getting to do some really cool stuff and some really crappy stuff too. So,
So your way around Fort Bragg.
No, I don't, because I got into Fort Bragg. I went there, went through the qualification course, the Q course, and language school, and then came out here to Fort Carson to be with 10th Special Forces Group, and never looked back at Fort Bragg.
Well, I assumed that everyone in Special Forces at some point was you were at Fort Bragg, but not very long. But a lot of people go there and they never leave.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we used to have 2 groups there. So you think about, you could stay your entire career right there between the schoolhouse, the groups, the use of SOC, the headquarters, the Army Special Operations Commands, and things like that. You could literally, and I know guys, a couple of the guys that I'm coaching right now that are transitioning out are those guys that have spent their career, the last 15 years at Fort Bragg, because, even guys, I've even met guys that were 82nd, raised their hand to go Green Beret, spent their, did the training and stuff, then went to 7th Special Forces Group, which used to be at Fort Bragg, and then spent the next 15, 20 years, just bouncing around right there, living in the same house.
Well, there's Marines that never leave Camp Lejeune. I've met them.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know. I don't love that we had to move all the time. I don't know how people have ever gotten so lucky to stay in one place for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. I looking back though, I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. It made them stronger, better kids that just, living in one place my whole life. I know I don't have roots now, or my children don't, at least. That part's weird, but I don't know, Serena. I liked moving.
Yeah. I guess because I had such strong roots here in Kansas City that it always just felt rooted, and now we're back. So it's stayed, the same, but, I don't know. Even when I meet Navy people that say that they've been in one place for like 8, 9, 10 years, I'm like, how is that even possible?
I know.
We've never even offered the same duty station twice in a row. Like, it's never even been a choice.
After you're at a station for a while in the Navy and they hear that you buy a house, they're like, call the detailer, get them out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I met an Air Force colonel here years ago. She was an Air Force cadet. So she spent 4 years there, went up the road to Denver, Buckley Air Force Base, spent 4 or 5 years there, came down here to Peterson 4 or 5 years, Cheyenne Mountain, basically stayed in this little box right here she was at 20 plus years and had never left this area.
Wow.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know. I wouldn't like that, but we're getting off track as usual, Serena. We do this every week. We get off track.
I know. That's because we like our guests.
We do. And I like the stories, right? We know you have a business and we know you want to help veterans and you help other businesses out, but it's nice to know the background of the person you're talking to. And the listeners know that you served for 25 years, right? So the things that I'll call it selling, right? Your business, they can trust you, right? Because you're one of us. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And wait, I was going to say, Serena hadn't got to ask many questions, so I'm going to.
Well, no, I want to know about the podcast that you have with your son.
Otis, is your son?
Yeah. So because I'm a great namer, It's called the Cam and Otis Show. My son's name is Camden.
I was going to
So,
say, is your son's name Cam or Camden?
yeah. How'd you ever guess? Yeah, and we've been doing it. It'll be 3 years, end of May, beginning of June. We have a blast. We kind of started on a whim. Really.
You told me why you started that. I want the audience to hear why you started.
Yeah, I want to hear. I don't know.
There was really a couple of reasons. One was, going back to the book and putting a sign in the yard sort of thing, right? You just start a podcast, become famous, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Man, I was naive. So
Hey,
that was
my
that
kids
was-
think I'm famous because they Google my name and this is what comes up.
Yeah. Hey, that's all that counts.
That's right. If your kids think you're famous, then you are.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But it was that, and then the other thing my son's in the business with me. He's part of Tribe and Purpose team, but before it guaranteed me a 1 hour slot with my son every week. When he was off doing his thing, and he's still down in Tucson. I'm pointing to it.
We know it's that way.
Yeah, there it is. It's over there. But it gave us that 1 hour a week where we spent together, and we loved, and we still do, much like y'all, hearing people's stories, listening and hearing what was the catalyst, what was the thing that got them into business, what's some lessons they learned so they can share with the audience, and what keeps them ticking. We just love hearing those stories.
Yeah, and it's awesome that you started that to spend time with your son. I mean, that's great, right? That's what better reason to start a podcast, Serena.
I know. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't want to start a podcast with my wife because I spend all day with her every day, Serena. Like, we both work from home. So
My wife's office is right below me.
oh, mine is right like three doors down, like the band. But, it's all those years deployed though. Now that I am home, I have my office, she has hers. It's actually amazing. Now, when I was 20, probably not so much, but it's awesome. So I love it. And spending time with family, there's nothing better.
Mm-mm.
I agree. All those years away.
Yeah,
You can't make it up, but man,
No.
you can enjoy it when you get it.
you sure can. I mean, me and Serena have talked about that on the show, all those years away, but then you have retirement and you have quality family time when you are home.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who aren't military, who have worked their whole life. And, when they're home, it's not quality because they're working 18 hours a day when they are home. So I appreciate everything the military has done for me and my family, especially these days.
Yeah. It all pays off now.
Yeah,
All the hard work and all the
Hey.
sacrifice.
it does. I just got an ambulance bill and it was only $44, but we'll talk about that later. $44. That's good, right? TRICARE.
Oh my gosh.
my back surgery, the bill I want to say was $300,000.
Yeah, but you didn't have to pay that.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I was
heck
talking
no.
about my copay. I can't imagine how much an ambulance ride costs. I'm guessing a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off track again. Tell us how to get on your podcast. Well, not on it unless you want me and Serena to come. We'll come. But where they can find it, and your book if they want to buy your book, and then your website if they want to use you for coaching.
So
That's a
my
lot.
book-
I know.
Yeah, I know. I probably won't remember all of it.
That's okay.
So the book is on Amazon. You can either Google the name or Google my name, Otis McGregor. There is, and I don't know if my publishers fixed it or not, but if there's a picture of a woman wearing a red fluffle blouse,
I knew you were an Army guy.
Yep, that's my book. Don't ask me what's going on. Thank you very much. I'll call out my publisher again. I get tired of making them phone calls. I don't know how to do it myself. So yes, just look for my name in the title. And yes, even though it has that strange picture on there, it's my book.
Okay.
So getting in touch with, well, our podcast, we host on Buzzsprout. So it's the Cam and Otis Show.buzzsprout.com or Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the
Normal stuff.
Podcast stuff. And then as far as Tribe and Purpose, it's tribe-purpose.com.
Okay.
If you click, here's the little thing you got to do. You click the Get Started button, in the upper right-hand corner. It's going to do a little pop-up. And on that pop-up, you got two choices, and I want you to do both of them. First one you're going to do is you're going to sign up for the Monday Moments newsletter. Again, I'm a brilliant namer, so it comes out Monday morning.
Oh, yeah. Good.
There you go. There you go. Man, you're quick on the naming
Yeah,
stuff.
man. I'm good at
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Well, so Monday morning is a great way to kick off your week, because what I do is it's a stoic quote, and I share what I learned this week. So on Monday, it's my lessons from this week for you to focus on your week and kick your week off. So that's number one. And then number two, that next button is right next to it, is how you get in touch with me. It's how you schedule a time to get on my calendar.
Okay.
And have a free chat with me, and we'll see if you're a fit for our tribe. We'll see if our tribe's a fit for you, because it's a two-way street. It ain't just here, let me give you stuff. You gotta be part of it. You gotta be the right fit.
Awesome. You mean you have to work for it?
That's right. You
Yeah.
gotta put in the work, man.
I wish everyone in America felt that way.
Oh my gosh.
That's a different show. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, Otis, thank you for coming on. Don't hang up. We're going to say bye to you, and then me and Serena are going to BS with you after the show. But thank you. We appreciate the time. We really do.
Oh, I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.